Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We're gonna jump right into this palette, and this is the Warrior palette by Juvia's Place, and I'm going to take that red shade and I'm going to pack that on into my crease with a fluffy Morphe brush, and I'm just patting that on until I get the desired intensity. And once that shadow is intense, I'm just gonna blend around the edges and move on to my next color. Taking that same brush, I'm just lightly using the edge of the brush, or the very, I don't know, just use the edge, okay? And blend out around the edges of that eyeshadow. Just like that, I'm using a circular motion. And I tried to slow down this video so you guys can follow along a little bit better. So I'm taking this orange shade from the Sugar Pill palette, and I'm popping that slightly above the red shade where the edges meet, and I'm just gonna pat that there, and I'm also gonna repeat the same steps and blend out the edges later. Right now I'm using a Coastal Scents Pro Firm blending brush. You can use a MAC, I think it's like 217, but this is a good dupe for that. This is from Coastal Scents and it was way cheaper than a MAC brush. Those things are really nice but really expensive. So I'm patting that on right there, and now I'm just blending out the edges of the orange now, making sure that everything looks seamless. The key with this technique is to blend out each layer before you add a new layer on. So now I'm going to add the yellow from the same Sugar Pill palette, and I'm going to blend that slightly above the orange, dusting off the excess product, and I'm going to just pat that above the orange, and then I'm going to blend it out. It is very close to my brow bone and my eyebrows, so I'm just making sure not to carry it too high, but just to have it high enough so that it blends and it just looks seamless. So yeah, I'm taking that with a Ruby Kisses brush, and now I'm blending it out. I feel like I'm getting sick, y'all, so bear with me if I sound like really nasally. I could feel like a sore throat coming on in the middle of July. Ain't that something? I think it's because I sleep with my AC on, but yeah, so I'm blending around those edges and making sure that everything looks seamless. I'm gonna just take my time with that. Blending, blending, blending. Moving along. I'm going back in with more of that orange because I feel like there's a bit of a gap right there. So I'm taking that orange and I'm just packing a little bit more of that color into there. And now I'm using the concealer to cut my the center of my lid. So I just put a line across the middle of my lid, and then I looked up so that concealer would transfer, and now I'm just mapping out my halo eye cut crease. So I'm cutting my crease, and I'm using a Sigma brush for this step. Take your time when cutting your crease because it can be very hard to cut your crease, especially if you're not used to doing it. But once you get the hang of doing your cut creases and mapping out that crease, you'll find how easy it is. Just take your time, and now I'm filling in that space, and in the middle of the eyelid I am patting that concealer down. Now I'm going in with this yellow in the Sugar Pill palette, and it is a matte shade, and I'm patting that all over the empty lid space. And honey, this yellow was so pretty in the pan, but it applied so very patchy on my empty lid space. This is where I started to worry a bit, like, oh my god, did I pick the wrong color? But always wait and try to complete your look and pull through it to the end. I had a vision for this look, so I'm just like, you know what, I'm just gonna keep going and see what it looks like in the end without, you know, wiping it off and wanting to start all over. So that's exactly what I did. So I'm just patting this yellow all over the empty space, And here you can see it's very patchy. I'm trying to go back over it. It's falling down onto my face. and all of that, but still gonna pull through, still gonna try and make it work. And I'm just adding that yellow all the way up. I already know that I want to add some glitter on top of this, so I'm not too very worried at this point. But it was kind of annoying, and yellow is a hard color to work with in any formulation. Sugar Pill has really good bright colors, but this yellow just didn't work all that well for me. I'm gonna look into getting a new yellow eyeshadow. So yeah, this is what we have. And I'm gonna go back in with the orange to blend around the edges of that yellow into that red, just so that it doesn't look like a harsh transition. And I'm just patting that on, and then I'm gonna go back into that red and blend that orange back into the red, making sure that everything is blended. Taking my time using a not a concealer brush, using a fluffy but dense brush. Now I'm going in with this yellow glitter from bulkglitters.com, and I'm taking my Duo Lash Glue and I'm putting this yellow glitter right in the center where I mapped out that halo eye, and I'm taking my time applying a little bit at a time using light pressure. I'm pressing that glitter right onto the glue, and I'm just going to repeat these steps until that entire empty lid space is filled, making sure not to go outside of that line that I created. And yeah, just pretend like it's a coloring book and follow through with your steps. Take your time, take your time. I really like this Lash Glue with the brush on it because it allows me to be very precise, and I don't have to ruin another makeup brush to get this to work. So after I'm done packing the yellow on, I did go in with an orange glitter, and I think I lost the footage for that glitter, so I'm just going to show you guys what I'm doing here. I'm just taking some more of that glue and a silicone brush, and I am pressing on an orange glitter to help that yellow blend into the orange and blend into the red. It was very important to do this step because without this step, it just looked like I just slapped some glitter right in the middle of my eye. So, right in the middle of my eyelid space. So I was just like, you know, let me just mix in some orange. So I did that, and it turned out to be perfect. I put some orange glitter right around those edges, and here's what it looks like. I hope you guys can tell. Yeah, you can definitely tell now where I put the orange glitter. And just to blend it in further, I'm pressing on that orange eyeshadow right on top of the orange glitter, and it's going to help me blend it even more. And then I'm also going to pack on that yellow eyeshadow on top of that yellow glitter, and you're just going to see everything look way more blended, way more seamless in a second. So that is what I did. I followed that up with some liner and some lashes, and now I'm just moving on to my foundation routine. I'm taking the Maybelline Matte and Poreless foundation. I've already color corrected my face, so I'm just putting that all over my face. I am using this really big brush. This brush covers so much area, so I don't know, I just be reaching for it nowadays. I'm just using that Maybelline Fit Me foundation everywhere that I need to put it, and I'm just buffing that in using a patting motion and not a swiping motion, because that's just gonna disturb my product. So blending around my nose, on the other side of my face, in my forehead, around my eyebrows. Be very careful. I did also trace out the top of my eyebrows before I blended it because I wanted it to be more precise. And now I'm just going back in with some more of that foundation in the middle of my forehead, and I'm just going to blend it downward and make sure I get everything covered. Making sure it's also blended into the hairline, which is why I had to take my bonnet off, because you would hate to be walking around with a line of demarcation between your foundation and your frontal, your lace, whatever it is that you're wearing. So make sure you get that blended in. So going back in with the ProLongwear Concealer in NC45 and the LA Girl Pro Concealer in Medium Beige, I mixed those two together to tone down the yellow tones in that NC45 shade. And I'm just putting that under my eyes to highlight, down in the mouth area, also on my chin, and I'm also going to put that down the center of my nose, and I will put that in my forehead as well. So I'm doing that here, and I'm also going to clean up the edges of my eyeshadow with this concealer by drawing a straight line, or an angled line rather, upward toward my eyebrow, and making sure that eyeshadow is sharp looking. So this is how you get that sharp looking edge without using tape. So right here, I'm just blending out all my highlighted areas with a Real Technique sponge. And the sponge is slightly damp. If you want to get a really nice blend, make sure you dampen your sponges when you go, and then go in to blend your product out. And don't have the sponge too wet. Always squeeze out the excess and then dry it a little bit with a paper towel. So I'm just blending out that highlight under my eye. And I kind of pinch together the sides of that sponge so that I can get into those tighter areas. And making sure that it blends into my foundation. So right here, I'm just going in to blend out that forehead. The concealer did dry a little bit. It started to dry, so I just took a little bit more of my foundation and blended around the edges. Now I'm setting my under eye with the Sacha translucent powder. This powder is the best. It is so good. So I'm putting that all over my highlighted areas, and then I'm gonna go in with the blush by MAC, and I'm putting that as my bronzing shade. So I'm putting that in my cheeks, in my forehead, and all the areas where I would normally bronze my face. This adds a really nice sexy warmth back to the skin without making it too deep and too dark and too harsh. So I'm putting that in all the areas, and I'm taking my trusty black Radiance powder in the shade Ebony to further sculpt and contour my face. And this powder, you guys, you can obviously see has been a favorite for me. It is way used. It's already hit pan. I did get another one, so I used that, and now I'm just going to sculpt out that contour with some of that banana powder. Not banana powder, sorry y'all. That Buttercup powder by Sacha Cosmetics. And I'm using that and dusting that away immediately. So now I'm going to go in with the Shayla Times Colourpop highlighter, and I'm going to put that in all the places where I usually highlight. And I'm using a Morphe brush for this. It's really, really cute. This highlight is really, really cute. So I'm putting that in all the places where I would normally highlight, and even into the forehead. And I'm using this brown shade by Juvia's Place. It's the Zulu palette. And I'm putting that in my lower lash line just to connect some of that warmth from the top to the bottom. But I didn't want to add red or orange or anything like that. So it was just like, let me just go in with this shade. Moving on to lips, I'm taking this MAC pencil. This is Cherry Pencil by MAC. It's a lip liner, and I'm lining my lips, and then I'm going to go in and fill in my lips with this color. This color is so pretty. This is like, I have like 3 or 4 top lip pencils from MAC, and this is definitely one of them. It's such a pretty red. And then I'm going to go in with this Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick, and I'm putting that right on top. This is slightly brighter than the cherry color, just very, very slightly, but it works well together. It looks so pretty together, so I decided to do that. And because I'm not here for a matte lip, I'm gonna add some lip gloss, and this one is by I think Loreal. I'm not sure. I will leave it down in the description bar down below, so be sure to check that out. And I'm just putting this gloss on top just to make this lip look even more cute. So you guys, here's the finished look. I hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, rate, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in a next tutorial. Bye!